Hey guys, welcome back. In this episode, we're going to talk about our 1 month that we spent slow traveling and living in Brasov, Romania. We're going to go over essentially like how we got there and what we thought of the town itself and whether or not we think it's a good place for you to slow travel to. Hey, I'm Joel.
And I'm Michelle.
And we're the Wandering Hartz, and we've been slow traveling for the last 5 years, trying to live a more abundant life. Now, this actually is part of our Nomadic Abundance podcast episode, so if you haven't watched the other ones, be sure to check it out. And if you're new here, be sure to subscribe to the channel, as well as our newsletter, especially if you're interested in learning how to live a more abundant life by traveling abroad. You can just scan the QR code on the screen.
So if you watched our previous video, you know that we took the train all the way from Sofia, Bulgaria to Bucharest, Romania. And then from there, we got the train from Bucharest to Brasov. And I guess we'll start kind of with the train transportation. So if you saw that video, you know it was like super hot and sweaty. We did this in the middle of August and through kind of like a major heat wave. So that was definitely an interesting experience. And once we got to Bucharest, we decided to book tickets in first class, where we actually had air conditioning because we were so hot from traveling. I don't know, I think maybe 12 or 13 hours.
I can't remember now. You have to watch it, but it was pretty close to 12 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, so we got on our train to Brasov, and that was actually pretty easy. The train was really nice. We had great air conditioning, and we were very comfortable traveling there.
And also, when we actually got into Brasov, we ended up getting in at, what, it was like 9:30 or 10 o'clock at night?
Yeah, I think so.
So a little later than we were hoping for. But overall, it was pretty easy to get to our accommodations. All we had to do is just walk out of the train station, and there were, of course, taxis you can take. But we like to do like Bolts or Ubers. And so we grabbed a Bolt with our friend Paul, who was traveling with us, since we were all staying at the same accommodations in Old Town. And then we ended up, I think it was like maybe a 15-minute ride there. Yeah. And I don't think it was that much money. I think it was like maybe...
I think it was like $7 or $8.
Yeah, $7 or $8. So again, pretty affordable rides there.
So as Joel mentioned, we stayed right in Old Town, which was really nice. So yeah, I think only maybe like a 2 or 3 minute walk, like right into the center of the city. And if you are curious about our stay there, you can watch our video. We did a whole apartment tour of what it looked like and our time there, which was really, really great. And then, yeah, our first impressions of Brasov were that we loved it, I think. Almost immediately. It's super walkable, easy to get around. It's really pretty. It's got that kind of, European feel to it. It has...
Well, I mean, it's a medieval city. Yeah. I mean, parts of the city date way, way back, too. And just kind of built up since then. In fact, it's surrounded by a couple different fortresses everywhere, including one really cool one that's like on the top of the hill. I mean, it's a very beautiful place. There's a lot of differences, too, that we noticed. Having spent, 6 months. Actually, we'd spent almost 4.5 months. 4 months we'd spent in the Balkans, in like Albania, Macedonia, and Bulgaria. So there were a few kind of differences that we noticed. Mainly that public transportation was way, way better, like way more convenient, about the same affordability cost-wise. But again, you can take buses, trains to like all over like in nearby places, which is something you can't really do in Bulgaria, Romania, or Albania. Bulgaria has some trains, but they're not, obviously, since that's how we got here, but they're not necessarily the most robust.
Another thing that we found pretty easy was the language. There's actually a lot of people in at least Brasov that speak English. It's very easy to communicate with most people. It's also a Latin-based language, so it's a little bit, it's a lot more similar to English. And we could kind of read things too, especially coming from Bulgaria where it's Cyrillic. You're not, constantly holding up your phone trying to figure out what something says. So that made it a lot easier as well to kind of just to settle into Brasov.
Yeah, we also found it basically more affordable than we thought it was going to be, but also a little bit more expensive than some of the other countries like Bulgaria, where we just spent some time in. And then also, there's a ton of stuff to see there in the area.
Yeah, there's lots to see. There's castles, beautiful castles. And then right in Brasov, there's a couple of churches you can go see. There's a fortress that's up on the hill that was actually open when we were there in the summer, so that was pretty cool. There's lots of hiking that you can do. Brasov is in the Carpathian Mountains, so in Transylvania, and it kind of like butts, I guess, right up next to the mountains. So you can just go hiking like right there from Old Town. Like it's like a 5-minute walk kind of up to the mountain, and there's trails. So yeah, it's really kind of easy to get like up into the mountains and start hiking.
Yeah, and there's a lot more things you can do in the area too. I think we talked about some of that in our cost of living video, if you're interested in checking that out. But everything from like zip lining and all sorts of stuff kind of in the surrounding area. And of course, in the winter, people go there for skiing too. So another cool thing if you're into the skiing part.
Yeah, so it was super easy for us to get settled in. And I think that was also due to because of our friend Paul, who had been there already. So he kind of like gave us like a whole tour and showed us around. I mean, he showed us, some of the restaurants, the ATMs, but we know like a lot of you, coming to Brasov probably won't have like your own personal tour guide, to show you around. So we do have a guide that we created for Brasov, and that's just to help you, get settled in as quickly as possible. It's something that we wish we have a lot when we're going into places. So that's why we've created these guides. And we're going to tell you where the best ATMs to go are, the fees, the best areas to stay in Brasov, also some of our favorite restaurants, grocery stores.
Yeah, SIM cards, things like that.
Yeah, so if you're interested in that, you can scan the QR code.
So in addition to having Paul, thank you, Paul, it not only introduced us to Brasov, but also to the place that we stayed. And we actually became friends with our landlord there, Miriam, and who's a really awesome host. And so much so that she actually she took us under her wing, that pub tour that we talked about a second ago. She took us on this really cool pub tour where we kind of got to see like more than just the old town, which is kind of more, of course, the more touristy part of Brasov, but we got to kind of go out into some of the neighborhoods and have experiences there, which was a ton of fun. Also, we got to be introduced to some of her friends as well, and we met a ton of really great people there, and even did like some cool things like trivia nights and stuff like that, which was kind of surprising because we weren't expecting it to be in English. Which was pretty cool. Because this is like a locals, like Romanian, Brasov, Romania trivia, so which made it really easy to follow along.
The weather was also really nice when we were in Brasov. We were there from about the middle of August to mid-September, and it was very comfortable. It doesn't really get too hot there. I think maybe it got to 80. I don't know, even it got that hot during the day. So it was super nice in the evening. I think I don't know, maybe threw on a sweater or a light sweater or something at night, because we could go out and sit on the square. You can have a glass of wine or have some dessert, which is really nice. And one thing that we love about Europe and the whole cafe culture there. And I guess, speaking of the food, we were really surprised about how much we like the food in Romania.
And how affordable it was too. Like there was, we even tried of course we tried, a lot of the Romanian dishes as well. And just, we fell in love with it. It was so easy. Because, sometimes you go somewhere and the food isn't, it's not something you might be used to, especially if you're coming from like the States or something like that. And so it takes a minute, you're stuck eating pizza all the time or whatever, we've done that in the past. But yeah, in Romania, or in Brasov specifically, it was really easy. We could get all of those things. You could get your fish and chips if you wanted to. You can get your Romanian dishes. You can get all of that, plus, local beers, desserts, like all that. Oh, and of course the wine. And the wine was really, really good. And a little dangerous because it was also very, very affordable. Good and affordable equals lushes like us drinking
lots of wine.
Lots of wine, maybe too much wine.
No, we got spoiled.
Well, it didn't help that there was a little winery actually directly, what do you call it, a wine shop?
Wine shop, yeah.
Directly attached to the building that we stayed in. So we could literally just
super nice.
Walk, 15 steps, and there's the wine shop.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were really, really nice too.
Yeah.
And it was tasty and good. So.
Yeah, so we definitely enjoyed all of the food in Brasov.
All the food, all of the wine, especially that aspect of the culture. We embraced it wholeheartedly.
I think the only disappointment for us is that we ended up working quite a bit when we were there. So we didn't get to see or do as much as we wanted in Brasov, and we are also coming up to our the end of our Schengen time. So we had to leave and go back to the United States.
We did not want to leave.
No.
I could have easily spent a couple more months there, or longer actually, because we actually were considering. We did look into residency options there as well, and there is a way that you can get like a 1-year residency there through opening like a business, and so it's been something that's been on our minds, especially if you want to be able to explore the Schengen area and the countries in the Schengen area a lot more. In fact, if you are interested in learning a little bit more about that, our friends Warren and Julie on their channel, Warren and Julie Travels, they have just started that process themselves. So be sure to go check out their video if you're interested in seeing that.
So we ended our trip in Bucharest. We ended up catching a flight from Bucharest back to the United States. And it was pretty easy. I don't think there was any hiccups or anything.
No.
I was a little worried because we were leaving on our absolute last day of Schengen time. But nobody said anything. They just stamped us out and that was it.
Well, because we were within the time frame.
Yeah, I know.
We were worried because, in case the flight got delayed or whatever.
Right.
We don't usually push it that hard, but we weren't originally planning on going back to the States. But if you watch some of our other videos, I had a family. My sister had some trouble, so we decided just cut it short and go back. So all that to say, it was a lot cheaper flight. So if we just waited like an extra 2 days, so we rolled the dice and it worked out mostly. I think I ended up catching COVID on the way back. So on the flight back, and then that was kind of a bummer. But
set us back like 10 days.
Yeah.
Back in the States because you were so sick.
Yeah, because we were only going to be back in the States for, I think, 6 weeks. 6 or 7 weeks is what we spent back there. So we kind of lost a lot of time on that. But other than that, the trip was amazing. We absolutely recommend going to Brasov specifically. Romania in general is fantastic as well. All of the, Bucharest and the other places, really great. So if you definitely put it on your list if you are planning to go there, whether it's for a short trip or even slow travel, it's a really good destination to slow travel to, especially since you've got such good public transportation access. You can get to so many things, things that you'd want to see just on the trains alone.
Yeah. Yeah, and we definitely plan on going back for sure. We loved it so much, so we'll be back. We're not sure when.
That's right. So that wraps this up, and I hope it was helpful for you guys. If you are interested in learning a little bit more about living a more abundant life traveling abroad, we do have a membership, Nomadic Abundance, where we have a bunch of ebooks. These guides, like our quick start guides, are in there. Anyways, you get all access to all of that stuff, and of course we answer questions for people too, and we can even do consults if you're planning on doing that step of selling your things and traveling for a while. We can kind of talk you through that stuff as well. You can learn more on our website, nomadicabundance.com.
Yeah, so I think that wraps up our whole trip in Romania. And the next time you see us, we will be coming to you from Thailand. We finally made it over to Southeast Asia.
Yep. Thanks, guys, so much for watching. Happy wandering.
Happy wandering.
Hey, we're Joel and Michelle, and we're the one. Hey, we're Joel.
And I'm Michelle.
That's weird. Sorry. Let's keep going.
Hey, we're Joel.
Hey, I know. Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh my word. Okay, let's try this again.
Okay. And if you're new here, make sure you subscribe. Oh, God. Why are we having a hard time?
It's not easy. YouTube is not easy, okay?